Hello, I'm in Edinburgh again. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be climbing Arthur's Seat. So I am staying at the Royal Mile, on the Royal Mile, which is this area here. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to walk down this way to around where Hollyrood Palace is. Turn down here. Here is Hollywood Park. And right around here, just off the map, is where the peak of Arthur's Seat is. Gonna climb that today. What we're thinking here is the passage down this way. This is all going to be in shadow. Going to be in shadow most of the time here. So it's going to start cold. As I start up the mountain, I'm going to get into the sun. It's going to warm up. That's one thing to consider when you do this. Another thing is it rained last night. It rains often around here, so going to be a little slippery, going to be a little muddy in place, going to be a few puddles. So you got to decide what you're going to wear. Dress somewhat warm, but be aware that it's going to warm up some, and wear shoes that are good for climbing in wet, slippery weather. Okay, so we just came down this way. The road curves, you can't see it, but it's fairly straight shot up to the castle. It curves a little bit, but you don't get lost trying to get there. So the castle, you come out of the castle, you hit Castle Hill, then you hit Lawn, it turns into Lawn Market, then it turns into High Street, then it turns into Cannon Gate, which is where this ends at. So the Royal Mile is actually like 2 or 3 blocks within High Street, according to the maps, but when you get out of the Royal Mile area, you'll still see shops and things that say the Royal Mile. So some people will say the Royal Mile is the entire way from the castle here. Others will say otherwise. This is the new Parliament building, which you take any street tour and they'll the people in Edinburgh aren't really proud of this. You'll pass the old Parliament building as you walk down this way. It's in the area called the Royal Mile. Here's Hollyrood Palace, where the monarch stays when they are in town. And then we turn here, and this is Arthur's Seat, which we are going to be climbing. Yeah, so here we are just south of the Parliament building. You can see the moon's up. It's the grounds of the Parliament building, the outside of it aren't bad looking little things here. It's early morning, as you can tell. Sun's just coming up, so there'll be some joggers going up, a lot fewer tourists than normal. That's one of the reasons I came. It's actually surprisingly warm for being late October, so this is going to be a little different experience than I was expecting even. Okay, so Hollywood Park has a road that circles around it. A lot of cars going around, so you got to be careful actually crossing the street to get this far. So this part here, which you can sort of see, it's got this little shack in front of it. It's gated off. When I was here around 2004, 2005, this is the way I came up. It was called the steep way because it is a lot steeper. A lot of false stops, if you want to call it that, or false peaks, I think they're called. You look like you're going to get to the top, but then it's just a place where it leveled off, and you can see you're not at the top. You can sort of see there's some overgrown stairs here. What happened was in 2007, February 28th, there was a rock slide, and so they fenced this off, and you can't go up that way anymore. Happened at 4:15 in the morning, so no one got hurt. So we're actually going to go around this way. This is what was the easier way. So you went up the steep way, and then you got there and found there was an easier way you could have gone. And so that's where we're headed now. That's where these people up ahead of me are going. If you can see them, it's a little dim. But yeah, that's it. So there are all sorts of other little trails going off. Like I said, a lot of them are very muddy because it's rainy, or it has been raining here. Still going this way. We're going to end up turning right up here. The other side of this rock, which is beyond the bend, there's a lake. I believe it's called Margaret Loch. There's also a ruins of an old chapel. I believe that's St. Anthony's. Going to stop there on the way down, so we'll have a better look at that. So all of these ridges here, this is all a volcanic rock formation. And Arthur's Seat is the highest of them, and that's what we're going up. But there are actually trails and paths you can get to the top of most of these. It's sort of, Arthur's Seat is the big tourist one. You know, you go up there, a lot of tourists are going to be there. One of the reasons I came out here early was to try to avoid them. But the other ones are, like I said, people will still go up on there, just sit and relax or just look out, or so it sort of depends. Do you want to be around a bunch of people or not? Yeah, so the road split here. They actually paved part of it now, which is different from the last time I was here. So you can go that way. You're not going to reach the seat. I took the left-hand branch because this will take me to Arthur's Seat. There's a sign pointing the way. You can see a lot of puddles here because it's been raining. Like I said, it gets a little muddy, gets a little rainy. Another little path along here. You can get down to the main. Not a lot of people. There's where we're trying to get to eventually. There's this huge ridge there behind it. We're actually going to be going up, well, you can't see it very well because of the light. That comes down. There's this little crust. Like I said, I came here early just to avoid the people. I've been here early morning when there was fog on here, and we got a surprisingly clear day, so that's going in our favor. Like I said, when we get up here, sort of around the corner, this rock here to our left, we'll be able to see the chapel, and we can actually see part of the chapel there now, although it's a little hard to tell again. Zoom in a little. And what else are we thinking here? Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I had thought of things I wanted to say, I just can't think of them all. You can sort of see some people on the top there. Okay, now you can see the chapel standing out a little better there. And again, somewhere in this valley on the other side, there's Lake Margaret, or Loch Margaret as they call it in Scotland. And we're not going to go there, but I'm going to try to get a picture of it just so you'll see it. Nice little landmark to make you know you didn't go down the wrong path. And what else do we got going here? Passing people. Like I said, later in the morning, there will be a lot more people. This is actually the weekend, so I'm actually not surprised to see this many people here. There we go. So there's the St. Anthony's Chapel. There's Loch Margaret down there. There's, I believe, a path here that leads down to it, if you want to go down there. There we are. We can see the peak again. Beyond these bushes in front of it, we'd be able to see that level off place where we can stop and rest. Yeah, it's a little more level here than it was back a while ago, but it's still going uphill. Still using leg muscles I don't normally use this often. You can turn around. There's still some rather imposing looking places along the ridge here. But again, those are not the high spots which we're headed for. Okay, so we get to where the little steps start to form here. Again, some of these are going to be slippery because of the rain, so I got to be careful. Still a lot very muddy. So Edinburgh was a town of hills and stairs. And I mean, two streets that look like they're next to each other on a map are actually at different levels, and you have to go upstairs to get to one and another. So for someone who walks as much as I do, this is sort of a tiring town to be on. And going up Arthur's Seat is sort of good exercise, a good reminder that, yes, there are a lot of hills to go up and down here. So I'm actually going to be breathing a little heavier as we do this. I got to be careful because, like I said, the stones are slippery here. If the camera jumps around more than normal, it's because I'm trying to climb up slippery stones. So yeah, I'm going to be breathing a little harder. About halfway up, my legs are going to start to get tired. If I climb this every day, which I'm not planning on doing, then towards the end of the week I'll get used to this. Or if I lived in Edinburgh full time where it's going up and down the hills and stairs all the time, I'd be more used to this. But because I got in here last night, this is my first day here, I'm going to be breathing a little heavier and moving a little slower than I would normally. Up along here somewhere, there's going to be a place where you can actually levels off and you can rest without being in other people's way. But for now, I'm just going to climb for a while. So we came up this way. We're sort of in a little valley between ridges. Get up here. This is southward, so you got more sun coming in. It brightens up a little bit. This is just a good place to stop and rest a little bit, just because path widens, you're not in people's way. It levels out a little bit. Gonna end up going up that way, then up that way. So I've actually been walking on sort of the muddy part of the trail. You can see here there are these little stone step type things on this side, which I'm going to get over here. A little more gravel so I'm not walking in the mud. Make it a little easier. We can see the peak. We can see where this ridge ends. When we get up here, like I said, we got this nice resting point. We'll be able to turn. We can actually see as far out to the sea. Nice view. Good place to stop and catch your breath. So like I said, we got these little stone steps, which if you remember your grade school or early high school science, going up a ramp is easier than going up a step. So you can either walk in the mud where it's an incline, or you can go up the steps and do a little extra work. It's up to you. You can sort of see little foot trails where people climb down to go up another ridge. They aren't really official paths, but people go down them. We'll see them better when we get to this resting place up ahead. Yeah, so looking down, you can actually see the sea. See a bit of a chapel down there, or a church of some sort. So we just came up this way. We circled around to somewhat the south side of the peak. There's a big level off flat spot here. You can see part of the city. You can see the ocean. That is not Margaret Lock down there. But we've still got to go up there. Okay, so still got some footpath going. We're going to get to the point where we run out of path, and I'm going to have to put the camera away and actually use both hands to make sure I don't fall. But for now, still got some nice cobbled, got actual stones here, so it's not as much mud. Got a railing running along it, because this is like the official way to go up. You can sort of see someone at the peak there. You can sort of see what's going on over here with the town. This is a good place if you don't want to go the rest of the way to stop. You're on a path, so you don't want to stop and catch your breath. But like I said, I'm not even sure if I'm going to go all the way up to the top, just because it's a lot muddier than it was in the past times that I've been here. I don't want to slip and fall. So I might just go to the end of this and stop, or I might keep going. If I do keep going, I'm going to put the camera away, like I said, just to make sure that I don't drop it. So if I make it all the way to the top or not, you're going to have to wait to find out. You can see the path I'm on now turns to the left, or turns to the right up ahead and keeps going. Then it turns to the left. But eventually I'm going to run out of path. There'll be a bunch of stones. You sort of find the ones that look the best like steps and use them. There'll be one or two false paths, or what look like paths, and some of them go places, others sort of dead end. So you got to be careful about that. Like I said, gonna have the phone put away when I get to that part, so not gonna be able to show any examples of it. And again, even though these are a cobbled path, this is still steeper than it has been. So you can tell I'm starting to breathe a little bit heavier. If I were to climb this every day and do this video later in the week, I wouldn't be breathing as hard. Like I said, I haven't been here for a while, so I'm not used to going up and down hills like this. I can walk all day on flat surfaces. Yeah, so here we got a decision to make. Do we follow this path or do we follow that path? I'm going to go this way, but I'm going to put the phone away first. Still not at the top yet, but you can see found a good place to stop and rest. Some of these that look like paths, actually, if it were raining more, they'd be filled with water. So you gotta be careful. Gotta find things to use as footholds. And again, like I said, it's a little muddier than it is in the past, so steps I took in the years past I wouldn't take now just because my feet have mud on them. Headed down now. Not going to take as much effort, but you got to be careful because things that look like good footholds going up don't look like such good footholds going down. So sometimes going down is a little harder than going up just because you got to be a little more careful. Did I really think coming down would be easier? Not breathing as hard coming down, but I am going down a slope, so front of my legs are doing most of the work. More work than they normally do, so getting a little tired. Going down this little side trail, you can see there's the little ruined chapel up ahead. Gotta have a look at that. So here is the ruins of St. Anthony Chapel, built in the late 1500s. From this point we can see, again, get a fairly good side of Edinburgh. There's Calton Hall, or Calton Hill, I mean. You can see the castle at the very end there. But amazing thing about the chapel here is like there's only one person up here other than me. Normally when I come up here, there's like 10 teenagers just hanging out. Try and move back so we can get it. There's always a big puddle there, so if you want to go through the arch, you're going to be stepping in water. There's Loch Margaret, or Margaret Loch. Okay, and so that was Arthur's Seat. Like I said, nice place, good exercise. One year I tried to climb it once every day, managed to do it other than the one day it rained real hard. And like I said, if you do it on a regular basis, it becomes easier as the week goes on. But this being my first day here, sort of took something out of me. But it's a good little exercise, good little climb. Again, you can see the city, you can just catch your breath. You aren't running around doing the tourist thing the whole time. You're just enjoying nature.